Following a violent ambush and a bombing that killed Mossad agent Eliza Parash in the previous episode, the 6th episode of the Terminal List Dark Wolf titled Pawns and Kings reveals who played Ben and his group. With just one episode remaining in the first season of the prequel series The Terminal List, it appears that Ben, Landry, Tal, and Mo are pursuing the genuine traitor, Jed Haverford. The Terminal List Dark Wolf Season 1's penultimate episode opens with some taxing sequences as our remaining protagonists heal from their wounds. Tal survives a bloody hand-to-hand fight that almost killed her. Rafe attempts to atone for his sins after torturing and executing a friendly German intelligence officer, and Ben extracts a piece of shrapnel from his knee following the automobile explosion. When Ben and company discover they were actually used to ship actual nuclear reactor bearings to Iran, the situation becomes heated. It turns out that Haverford planned to get these bearings into Iranian hands in order to work with Iran's new government leader to create a safer relationship between Iran and the United States. Theoretically, Haverford wanted to build a more trustworthy relationship with the West by enabling Iran to produce a nuclear weapon, but he demanded that they never do so. After learning that Haverford had deceived him in the agreement with the Iranians, Ben takes matters into his own hands in the Terminal List Dark Wolf Episode 6. This sets up one of the most sinister scenes in the series and the entire franchise, for that matter, where all of the passengers are killed when bullets fly through a private jet. Before the mission is finished, Ben must practically wrench the bearings out of the Iranians' hands. Since only Ben, Mo, Tal, Landry, and Rafe are aware of Haverford's betrayal of his nation, they will undoubtedly all be singled out in the Season 1 finale of the Terminal List, Dark Wolf. Though there have been some well-choreographed fight scenes and tremendous action in almost every episode of the series, I get the impression that the most shocking events are still to come and that the prequel series is saving the best for last. The exchange between Ben and Rafe over honor was one of the most fascinating moments in the Terminal List, Dark Wolf Episode 6. Since the beginning of the series, Rafe has questioned the legitimacy of the CIA's missions and intelligence, criticizing all of the work that he and Ben have done. It turns out that Rafe was right about certain dubious activities occurring, but Ben was too enamored with the freedoms and flexibility of the position to consider other options until it was nearly too late. Ben has created an intriguing complex where he prioritizes his team's loyalty over anything, including the advice of his superiors. His dishonorable discharge from the Navy SEALs was initially caused by this kind of inconsistency. Ben is determined to carry their CIA assignments through despite the warning signs that Rafe correctly highlights, and he views Rafe as a coward for abandoning them before their task is finished. This provides some background for Ben's eventual betrayal of James Reese and demonstrates how obstinate he can be when driven by belief. The majority of Ben's shortcomings have been exposed by Rafe as being self-centered, careless, and ultimately wrong. Ben will stop at nothing to stand up for his beliefs, as demonstrated by the moment at the end of the episode where he goes rogue. He was correct to resist Haverford, but now that he has been labeled an American traitor, he faces a significant challenge in the conclusion. The final Haverford betrayal was rather obvious, which undermined some of the drama the show attempted to create, so some of the moments in Terminal List Dark Wolf Episode 6 were far more interesting than others. I still hope that the series will allow us to go further into Ben's mind than it has thus far. I was hoping that the prequel would give more details on why Ben betrayed Reese in the original series, so in some respects, it's been hard to get really absorbed in this plot. As it is, audiences are given a glimpse of Ben's volatility, unpredictable nature, and contempt of authority and constraints. After 6 episodes, it still doesn't feel like enough, even as these elements begin to unravel the web of his complicated character. Although the prequel series has been largely enjoyable, the Terminal List Dark Wolf might not be fulfilling its primary goal of providing fans with what they desire if these important revelations about Ben's personality and mental state are not made. Thank you for watching. Please, subscribe.